All right, y'all. I decided to film my abbreviated version of washing my boat down. So most time when you go fishing, everybody that goes fishing with you or boating with you, the first thing they do is leave. So what happens is the boat owner has to clean the boat off. So I'm just kind of go through my brief routine of doing that. I've learned there's a couple simple steps that I need to do every time. And then most time when I finish boating, I'm tired. So I'll just do these basics. And then later on, when I've got the energy, I'll clean it off more thoroughly. But these are the ones, this is what I do just to kind of keep the boat functioning. I've learned that this seems to work well. Most of my components stay up or last longer by doing this. So the first thing I do is flush the engine out, turn the water on. So got the water going on. So then what you want to do is make sure your engine is peeing water out, okay? Then right now I'm gonna trim the engine down. So you want to trim the engine down so it can, so no water sits in the reservoir there. It'll drop all the way down. So that way it flushes all the way out. So once I've got the hose on, I'll go ahead and turn the engine on. And any professional, so next I'll turn the engine on, and I'll trim the motor down all the way. So while that's happening, so what I like to do is look at my gauge, which I don't know if you can see that or not, but right now it's 116 degrees. So according to Mercury, my engine type, it says that I should let the engine heat up for, I believe it's at 143, and that opens up all the valves and whatnot to get the engine flushed out. So while that's happening, I'm unloading all my rods and everything from the day. One thing I learned too, you don't want to be going up and down, so you want to eliminate your going up and down. So I usually just throw my rods down, try to think about everything that I can do while I'm on the boat, so I can eliminate steps. right now I don't want to take this cooler down, so I'm gonna sit it right there. Grab any trash or anything. So I usually just throw all my trash in the sidewalk. I'll pick it up later, of course. Get any excess food that you don't want to sit and rot on your boat. So I get all my snacks and everything out. That in the bag. I'll tie that up. So I got the bag tied up. So then what I'm gonna do is check the engine temperature. So just that quick. So just that quick, my engine temperature is at 149. All right, so it's hot. So I let that run for about a little bit longer, maybe another 30-40 seconds. Now I also learned that my boat right now, the boat temperature is at 156, so that's my max I want to be at. So now it's 158, so the boat's starting to overheat. So I'm going to turn it off. So the engine's turned off. So that's flushed out pretty well. Okay. Then I go ahead and, while it's warm, go ahead and let it continue to flush. I just put up any miscellaneous items that I can. Keep in mind I'm tired, so I don't do the whole deal, but this is my express version of just getting my boat cleaned up, or at least the main components cleaned up. So next, I'll make sure that I don't have anything else that I need to grab before I jump down. So at this point, I believe I can grab the keys out. Also turn. Well, I'm gonna leave this on because the next step is I gotta rinse out my live well pumps. So I'm gonna leave that on right now. But I will turn the radio off. All right, then next I'll climb back down. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna climb down. So I'm gonna reach over here and I'm gonna grab the hose that's connected to the engine. I'm gonna squeeze it like we do back in the day when you want to turn the water off. So my engine is disconnected from the hose. So I'm trying to eliminate steps to stepping off the boat before I really have to. All right, so the next and most important thing that I found is that these are the, I'm rinsing out the components that seems to wear out the fastest. And that's usually your pumps, anything that's getting a lot of salt water. So if you can see my compartment here, my battery compartment. Now please don't pay attention to my wiring. It's not the best, but so then I just go in and thoroughly rinse. So this boat is equipped with live well, freshwater pump, and raw water pump, plus batteries and charger. So I just rinse everything, and every month or so I'll grease all the connections. So far this has worked really well for me, and my thought process is, since it's a boat, a lot of these components should be able to take water, and this is fresh water, so fresh water is better than salt water. So thoroughly rinse everything, and these pumps have lasted a long time. Before, I wouldn't do this and they'd be rusted out and just start to really corrode really fast. So now that I've got all the wiring and the pumps that's showing here rinsed out thoroughly. Now for my boat, my back compartment has my bilge pump, which you can't see. It's kind of towards the back. So what I do is I'll run the hose. I know I have like a little gap between this compartment and the next. So what I do is I run the bilge hose back to where I know the bilge pump is, because the bilge pump also needs to be rinsed out. So you can hear it kicking in already. So I fill that full of fresh water, and I let the bilge pump kick in. All right, so then I'll show you the bilge pump. So now if you look here, oops, I don't know if you can see that. So the bilge pump is now pumping fresh water. So that's clearing out the bilge pump. And the bilge pump gets flooded by water, so it's just rinsing all the salt water out of itself. So while that's happening, I disconnect my, so I have this my live well pump, which is a Tsunami. So I disconnect the top piece of that, and you can look that up. It's just a turn and twist. So I take take that off, and then I grab my hose again and I just rinse this out thoroughly, just to get rid of any salt in the live well pump. All right, so then I set that aside. I keep water flowing to my bilge area. All right, so the next step is going to be, you might not be able to see it, but there's a valve that I'm going to close, which is the valve that's connected to the bottom of the boat, where both the live well pump and the raw water pump pulls water out of the sea. So I'm going to close that valve so I can rinse out my raw water pump. So now that valve is closed. So then I take the hose and I run that through my live well reservoir and raw water reservoir, and then I go back to my switches here. So my switch, I have a raw water pump here, so I turn that on and I get the raw water pump to start pumping, which, so the raw water pump was full of chlorine, or not chlorine, sorry, full of salt water. So what I'm doing is now I got the hose running to that, so I'm cycling all the salt water out of the raw water pump and hoses, and I'm cleaning it out with fresh water. So I usually do this about for 30 seconds or so, enough to just know that everything's pumped through quite a bit. Okay, so now that I've done that, turn the raw water pump off. Okay, then sometimes I'll go ahead and check the live well pump. So got that checked, and then I will replace the live well Tsunami. And that's another snap and twist back. I will go ahead and close the valve of the reservoir. Okay, then I will just, do another thorough rinsing of everything. Go ahead and close this up. Now my bilge pump is still pumping. It's going to pump all the water out. Then I have a live well, actual tank. Live well tank. I go ahead and rinse all those components out. And this tank has another valve, so it's releasing to the street. So I just kind of thoroughly rinse through all this stuff, because these components also, even though they're plastic, over time they will deteriorate. So I just rinse all that stuff out as best I can. Rinse any of the lid and everything. All right, close that down. All right, so then I will go throughout the boat, just so I have a trolling motor here, so I will rinse that down thoroughly. Okay, then as I'm going up here, I'll go ahead and start just rinsing as much of the top part of the boat as I can. And this is the express version, so since I'm tired, I don't always totally get everything together, but I'm just trying to get the basics done. Now, these are marine speakers and stuff, so it don't, you know, they're waterproof. I haven't had any problems with these speakers with running water on them. Then I go next to my center console. I'll go ahead and douse this whole thing. Once again, I haven't had any problems doing this. You know, these components are designed to take on water. So I'm just trying to rinse it with fresh water. Get all that cleaned out. So now I'm about ready to step off the boat. So I'll go ahead and turn off my switch, which cuts the batteries off. I'll take my keys, and then I'm ready to exit the boat. Oh, sorry, I missed the one thing. So my engine, while I'm standing on top of on the boat, I have these my power poles. I'll go ahead and just run water through these just to try to get as much salt out of the nooks and crannies as I can. And then over the engine, all the components, wiring. And I'll hit this other side. Then I'll hit the other power pole. Just trying to run as much water as I can down through it. All right, so now I believe I'm ready to step down off the boat. So I try to just do one step down instead of coming back and forth. All right, so got that pretty done, I think, pretty well. So I'm going to step down off the boat. So go ahead and grab my cooler. All right, So grab the cooler, set that to the side. Then what I'll do is go ahead and rinse the tires off. All right, so then what I do is start to just wash down, rinse off the tires underneath as much as I can. Go to the back, continue to rinse down the engine, power poles, components, as much as possible. Of course, the water hose always knots up on you. Other power pole components, get in here and rinse those out pretty good. Get the tires. Then I even go to the other side of the tire, the back end, which I didn't do the other side. Just generally wash the boat down as much as I can. So that's it. So that's my general quick spray down of the boat when I'm tired. Then later on during the week or so, I'll come out and like clean it up better. But right now, this is the fastest way I know how to get the boat washed down and get back in the house and enjoy my wife. And we're getting ready to eat dinner. So on The Real Fishing, if anybody has any comments or any better techniques or anything that you see I did wrong or that I could do better, I'm really open to getting ideas. It's always good to get ideas from people. So on The Real Fishing.